In terms of the struggle against mass incarceration, or even the parameters of mass incarceration, we hear about New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., California. And that's the narrative that we hear. Maybe about Texas. But around the country, this is happening everywhere. It's not just in these big cities. And it's not just in prison. I mean, how many people in this country know about Rikers Island, right? I mean, yeah, it's a big jail, and it's important, but how many people know about any other county jails? But there's 3,144 counties in the U.S., and almost all of them have a county jail. And you can bet that probably 95%, if not more than those county jails, have built new cells in the last 40 years, have greatly expanded their population. They got a lot of people in there with mental health and substance abuse. They got more people of color in there, and in most cases, an extremely disproportionate number of black people in the jail. This is going on everywhere. So in my community, when in 2012, the sheriff and the local authorities came with a proposal to spend $20 million on a new jail. And I just finished organizing 2 study groups on the new Jim Crow. And I thought, hell no, you're not building a jail here. I didn't come out of this prison system to sit here quietly and watch you spend $20 million building jail cells here. We're going to fight this thing. So we formed a group which we called No More Jails, which we now call Build Programs, Not Jails. And we've been fighting for like 5 years against them trying to build this jail, and they're still trying to build the jail. And they come with different iterations of it. They call it, well, we don't really want a jail. We want a mental health facility. We want a nice visiting room. The last iteration, they said, we want a booking area that feels like an airport transit lounge. I said, you've got to be kidding me. We have no detox center in this community. We have no mental health crisis center, and you want an airport transit lounge in that jail, as if you're going to fool some. Oh man, I must be taking a flight to New York. Right here in the transit lounge. Well, where's my boarding pass? I seem to. Come on now. So we've been fighting against this thing, and one of the things we did is we did the first kind of, census of the jail, a racial breakdown. And what we found shocked even us, because we knew from talking to people in the community that black people were being locked up in extraordinary numbers, but it's now so extreme, and we think it might be the biggest disparity in the country. Our county is 13% black, and our jail population is 65 to 70% black now. So obviously there's big things going on. And of course, in the middle of this sits a world-class Research One university with 44,000 students that has absolutely no engagement with any of this, and just turns a blind eye to what happens in the community. I mean, I wrote a piece, for people that are interested, I wrote a piece about this in Truth Out a couple of weeks ago. It was called something like Shattered Lives, Mass Incarceration in the Cornfields. So it's kind of a study of what's happened, particularly with the racialized incarceration at a local level. But my point is, and this is why I like to come to places like Buffalo. I was in Binghamton last year, but I mean, I'd like to come to cities and towns that are out of the way, that are smaller places, but where I know this stuff is happening. And when I come to places like this, I find that there's stuff happening. I had a phone call, I had a Skype session with a class and some community members in Lawrence, Kansas a couple years back. And I said, oh, I talked a little bit about mass incarceration. So I said, tell me what's happening in your community. I said, and they said, oh, well, we're fighting against this jail. We're trying to come up with alternatives to incarceration. So how's it going? I mean, are you getting people to come out? I said, do you have any public meetings or anything? He said, yeah, we have some public meetings. He says, so how many people do you get to a meeting? And they said, oh, the last meeting we had 1,200 people. I go, what? 1,200 people in Lawrence, Kansas for a meeting about a jail? You can't get 1,200 people in New York about a meeting about a jail. But nobody hears about this, right? Nobody hears about this stuff that's happening in smaller towns. So there's a lot of struggle going on, and I think we need to bring that out, because the conditions that we face in small towns or medium-sized cities like Buffalo are not the same as New York and Chicago. There's different, there's in some cases it's different demographics. There's different politics. There's a different degree of availability of alternatives to incarceration and ways to channel people away from jails and so forth. And so, I think some of the nuances of that needs to be shared as part of the narrative about the struggle against mass incarceration.